Alright folks, we come to part 6. This is part 6 of the year and Ministry of Guitar collection, and we're going to show you the rest of the private stocks in the collection. So hi everyone, welcome back, and this is going to be, I think, the last collection video for this year. I unfortunately by no means have covered my entire collection, but it's quite the task to get everything together. But anyways, this is going to show you the rest of the private stocks that I have, and maybe I might just do something else if I can get a little bit more time. All right, happy holidays everyone, and enjoy the video. Before I get into it, I also want to get into a little bit of what is it that makes a private stock special, because to be clear, the quality of all PRS made in USA core guitars is very high. What really differentiates a private stock, in my opinion, are four things. The fourth one less so these days. How they look, obviously, because they use extremely aesthetic woods. How they feel, because private stock has the luxury of using the lightest, the best, so you can get the intersection of good looking, light, everything, right? You get exactly what you want. And even a regular private stock, anything has that it factor. So there's that, how it looks, how it feels. How it sounds, I think, is more debatable. They are extremely nice sounding. All I will say is they all do have extremely good acoustic resonance. And finally, the fourth thing that made private stock special was how you could configure combinations of PRS guitars. You could get a McCarty 594 with a trem, you could get a single cut with a Floyd, whatever you have. But nowadays, I think private stock has too much demand, so they're not a true custom shop anymore. With that preamble, let's get into this first one. The story of this guitar is, I had just missed buying a Modern Eagle 1 single cut, and I was really bummed. So it was in Japan. I had gone all the way to this obscure guitar shop, but they had just sold it. So then I went to another guitar shop, Ishibashi Music. I think this was the Shinjuku branch, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall right now. And Shinjuku. And then in the shop, I was looking at all the guitars. They were all hanging there, a bunch of PRS. And then there was this one guitar, and it was sitting in its case. And it just stood out. It was like nothing else in the store. And when I looked at it, I knew that this was something special. And this was the guitar. This is a 2008, so that means it's the private stock Knaggs era. Private stock has had two heads, Joseph Knaggs, who now does Knaggs guitars. So till 2010-ish, I think, is about him, 2010, 2011. And post that is the current head of private stock. Why is his name skipping me? I'm a big fan. Paul Miles. Alright, here is the Joseph Knaggs Custom 24 in faded indigo. And it's not really faded. I think the color is just called faded. Check what the color is called actually. It just says it right here. Faded indigo burst. Nothing faded about it, but this is one incredible guitar. Depending on the light, it can be green, it can be black, it can be gray. What an incredible top. This is custom 24. It's a regular custom 24. Master volume, master tone, 3-way switch, McCarty like switching, silver outline birds on an ebony fretboard. This might just be the best piece of ebony you'll see in your life. It's that good. And silver outline private stock eagle as well. So the eagle is one way you can recognize private stock guitars. And the fun times don't just end at the front. Even the back is quite nice. It's a darkly tinted, but the neck is again spectacular, and it has this gold kind of thing going. So faded indigo kind of means dark green, almost blue, with a little bit of gold going on. Something again you have to see to appreciate. So here we have it. It's out in the garden, so you can take a better look at it. What an amazing looking guitar. Just appreciate the quality of craftsmanship, the color, the gold highlights. It's just perfect. This particular guitar, it has vintage bass and HFS, vintage bass neck pickup, HFS, which is hot fat screaming bridge, and master volume, master tone, 3-way switch, coil split. These outlines are made from, I think they're made from silver, if I'm not mistaken. And just a beautiful instrument. So what do I like about this guitar? apart from the fact that it's my first PRS Private Stock. The sound of this guitar is incredibly versatile. So, sorry, sound is one thing, playability. This is maybe the most playable guitar in my collection, at least in the top 3. Probably the most playable. So it's, if you think PRSs play like butter, wait till you play this one. And a Custom 24 is already a guitar that plays like butter, but this is like the next level of butter. This is like very pristine butter. I don't know. There's that. So you can, if you are level 7 as a guitarist, this will turn you to level 9. This is an instant 2 levels boost every time you play this guitar. Secondly, the sound. So older PRS pickups get a bit of a bad rep, but in this particular guitar, the neck pickup sounds like a beautiful Les Paul, and the bridge pickup is amazing for lead guitar. Hot fat screaming is perfect for lead. What it's not that good at is palm muted chugging. That is the only Achilles heel for this guitar, but otherwise clean sound, lead sounds, blues, rock, high gain lead as in low gain. This thing is just incredible. A quick note on the case. So there are many different kinds of PRS cases, or rather PRS Private Stock cases. This one is a brown leather, and every PRS Private Stock case will have the eagle, and you will get the certificate. If you're buying a PRS Private Stock, make sure you have the certificate. Otherwise, PRS does not replace these. Okay, so this was the Custom 24 in faded indigo burst from 2008 from the Joseph Knaggs era. Coming next up in the Private Stock journey is a special limited run from Private Stock. Private Stock does this, PRS does this. Sometimes they get some extremely special woods or they collaborate with some special artist. This guitar is the result of PRS finding extremely old wood in the US, in the eastern side of the US, in a graveyard of all places. And the maple wood had amazing figuring. So PRS decided to make 2 sets of models, a Graveyard 1 and a Graveyard 2, using that wood, that very old wood. Graveyard 1 was more traditional looking, and the Graveyard 2 is where they went crazy, where they got totally inspired by 19th century Gothic literature, Edgar Allan Poe, Dracula, Jekyll and Hyde, what have you. This is the Graveyard 2. And the experience really begins even at the case itself. This case was only for the Graveyard 2. This is called the Blackened Tuna. It's dark. It feels appropriately haunting. And when you open it, you are greeted by the most stunning nitro paint finish you will see on any guitar. And I'm not exaggerating. I've seen plenty of them. This is number 1 by far. And the reason it is number 1 by far, but we'll talk about that. Let's have a look at the guitar. Look at that. This is in Graveyard, Raven's Blood, transitioning black from to purple to red to glow. And then you have the fretboard, which transitions to this beautiful, from ebony to flame maple, evoking the night sky with birds flying. Finally up to the raven in the matching color. That's the front. And it doesn't stop there, because the back is probably even more spectacular. You have this effect of almost like wood that has been rotting in the ground for hundreds of years, but it's really just swamp ash. And then a matching neck going from black to purple to red to brighter red. So let's talk about this. Let's get it out for a second and let's talk about it. So I was telling you about the color and the flame on this guitar, right? So usually when you have stains, which is when you do nitro stain, you don't do solid colors, they struggle to be very bright because literally you're staining wood. So they may look great on Instagram, but if you see a guitar on Instagram and a dealer photo, then you see it in real life, you will always realize that it doesn't look as good. This guitar is the exception because the stain literally looks like you put an Instagram filter on top of it. I don't know what they do, but I have many red guitars, many red stained guitars. Nothing compares to this. In my first collection video, you may have seen the McCarty 594 regular one that I have, the wood library. It's a nice red, but it pales in comparison to this in more ways than one. So that's one thing. And then of course this work on the fretboard is just intricate. These details, the purple tints, everything is just amazing. As a guitar, it's basically a McCarty 594, which is PRS's version of a Les Paul. So you have a 3-way switch, tunematic style bridge, PRS's version. Blackened humbuckers is 5815 LTs, 4 knobs, but you have coil splits. And woods wise, it is semi-traditional. It has a maple top like a Les Paul, but the neck, the fretboard is maple to ebony. The neck is maple, as you can see, flame maple, and the back is swamp ash. So this lends this guitar a very different tonal characteristic. It is a lot brighter than a regular Les Paul and much more suited for modern music, though it can do older music as well. But that's where I would say it sounds nothing like a regular Les Paul, but it does sound like a Les Paul. So it's kind of an oxymoron in that sense. This is literally my dream guitar in a way. I love Les Pauls, and I also love 19th century Victorian literature. So it's almost as if they made the guitar for me, though I know they didn't. Alright, so this is the PRS Private Stock McCarty 594 Graveyard 2. So with every private stock you have a story, and for me this private stock has got 2 very special things. Firstly, this is the guitar that I bought myself as a promotion gift when I got promoted to the CMO, or the Chief Marketing Officer of my business. This was in March 2020. Secondly, this guitar has the best piece of maple I have seen on any guitar. That includes the other private stocks. It's quilted, it's 3-dimensional, it is the equivalent of the perfect diamond. This is the perfect maple top. And this is a PRS 513 in a very grey purple mist. Let me show you the guitar. This case is a suede leather case. This is also used in the Modern Eagle one, if you saw my first video. And let me show you the guitar and we'll talk about it. There we go. Look at that. Tell me that is not perfection. Tell me that is not the best looking top you have seen on any guitar for any price. And tell me it can get better than this, because it just can't. Look at that again. Ebony fretboard, white gold inlays, white gold, and etched PRS bird. That is properly etched. You can see this intricate detail perhaps. Alright, and let's show you the back as well. Matching color, flame maple, and this is an ash body, so you can see a little bit of the ash green if you look closely. Okay, let's get it into the light, where you can continue to appreciate the color, and I can tell you more about this guitar. Okay, this is a PRS 513. What is a 513? Well, if you know me, you know I am literally Mr. 513 at this point. I have 5 of them, but there's a good reason for it, because in my opinion these are the best guitars in the world. This is a guitar that can go from chimey single coils to beautiful bluesy neck humbucker to crazy EMG ripping bridge humbucker. It's all there in this guitar, in the 13 sounds from the 5 pickups of this guitar. I am hesitating to say it sounds like a Strat and a Les Paul, because it doesn't exactly sound like it. It sounds like a single coil, it sounds like a humbucker, it sounds like a high gain humbucker, but it sounds like its own thing. And the variations in the 513s that I have, which are 5 of them, is just the woods in them. This one, of course, is a swamp ash body maple neck, which is different from the original 513, which had a Brazilian rosewood neck, and different from the regular 513, which just has a mahogany neck. They all sound a little bit different. Let's talk how this works. So this has 5 single coils. This is not a humbucker guitar. 5 single coils, controlled by one 5-way switch here and the 3-way switch here. That sounds a little confusing, and then you have a master tone and a master volume. It's very simple. This 3-way switch switches you between 3 guitars. Position up is what you have is a single coil guitar. You have single, 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 SSS. And the 5-way is like a Strat, how a Strat's 5-way would work. So neck, neck plus middle, middle, middle plus bridge, bridge. So that's position 1. These 2 are just single coils at that point. Position number 2, what happens is these 2 become low output humbuckers, vintage humbuckers. So same thing, same position, 5-way, neck, neck plus middle, middle. So notice the middle position stays the same. Middle plus bridge, bridge. So you can get perfect Les Paul, almost P90esque sounds. In fact, you can get any sound. And then finally, this is my favorite thing, this is when you shift it to the last one, it becomes high output or heavy humbucker, which case the neck pickup is this beautiful, fattest, perfect jazz, perfect blues, the fattest sound you can imagine, yet never becoming too boomy or too unusable. And the bridge humbucker turns into this super fat, clear, it's like the mother of AMGs is what I would call it. You can get the most beautiful lead tone, or you can get amazing palm muting with amazing pick attack. I don't know how both happen at the same time. And I'm so addicted to this bridge humbucker fat tone, in fact both humbucker, heavy humbucker mode in general, that no other guitar can sound like it. And that is the reason why I have 5 of them. I keep them in multiple tunings. This one actually is kept in B standard right now, would you believe it? And the reason for that is this has a slightly longer scale length than a regular PRS. This is a 25 1/4. So I told you a lot about the 513. We'll talk more about it when we see the other 513s in the collection. Let me tell you more about this guitar. So as I said, quilted maple top, probably one of the best tops out there. Ebony, perfect ebony fretboard. These inlays are specific to the 513, and they are made of white gold, white edged gold bird as well. Very light because this is made from swamp ash, so you can see a little bit of the ash behind. And you can tell this has beautiful neck. The only thing on this guitar, which was the case when I got it, is guitars from the this is the 2007. And guitars from the early 2000 PRS are prone to a little bit of clouding on the clear coat. So in this guitar is just over here. All you have to do is make sure you don't store them inside a case. You store them outside a case in a humidity controlled environment, which is why this guitar hangs. And the clear coat has basically stayed, that little patch has stayed the same. It has not changed since I got it 3 years ago. Yeah, one of my favorite guitars, very honestly. I have so many 513s. My friends keep telling me I should sell one. So sometimes I put a few of my 513s up on sale, then I regret it. So we'll see. But forget being a 513, this guitar is really just about that top. Okay, we'll move on to the next one now. This guitar represents a very unique opportunity that I had in my life, which was to spec out my dream guitar, every aspect of it. I spec'd this out in 2019 when PRS Private Stock was still a custom shop, which meant that they could do crazy things. Today it's a little bit more restrictive. But let me assure you, I took every advantage of the craziness that was allowed to me. So it begins with this case. This is called a Western Tolex. Beautiful pattern. I went for it because it matched the guitar, with gold also matching the guitar. And now let me show you the actual guitar. This guitar was spec'd by me, the woods were chosen by me, etc, etc. It is polarizing, but I absolutely love it. And here we go. Look at that. By the way, love the red interior. Isn't that the perfect thing as well? Okay, so what is this monstrosity? And if you've seen my channel before, you've seen this guitar earlier. But for those who are new to this, let me assure you that this dramatic looking thing has some very traditional origins. Look at that neck as well. So I'm going to run you through the guitar, I'm going to show you more of it, and I'm going to run you through the words, my process. There's a more detailed video on my channel, but this is more to give you just a taster. This is based on PRS's Les Paul. This is the McCarty 594. What I have done is I have added a tremolo system and I've added a piezo. So this is the McCarty 594 double cut tremolo piezo. Of course the woods are spectacular. So this has a buckeye burl, a split top between flame maple and buckeye burl. This is finished in the modern eagle style satin nitro, very different from any other satin, as I've explained in my first video. Gold hardware. The pickups are Tremonti in the bridge because it's a beautiful high output humbucker for my kind of music. 5815 LT, the same as a regular 594. In the neck, master volume, neck volume, neck tone, master neck volume, bridge volume, and master tone. Each of them is coil splittable. Plus I have a outer phase switch as well. This toggles between the piezo, so this can make any sound. Cocobolo fretboard. It's a beautiful rosewood-like material, but a lot of figuring, as you can see. Work of art pretty much even here. Buckeye burl birds, Buckeye burl binding, which is crazy. Mahogany body, very traditional in that sense. It's a mahogany body and it is single cut thickness. So this thing is as thick as a Les Paul, almost like same thickness as a McCarty 594 single cut, which is thicker than a double cut. Buckeye burl matching birds at the matching plates at the back, and a kingwood neck. Kingwood is the closest thing to Brazilian rosewood that you can get these days. In fact, it's rather rarer and rather more expensive than Brazilian rosewood traditionally. The purpose of this guitar was to make my dream Les Paul, so it doesn't look like a Les Paul. The main thing I hesitated on was the shape, whether to go for single cut or double cut. I finally decided to go for double cut in order to enjoy this capability of doing the split top. But the rest of it is honestly pure Les Paul with a tremolo. Later on, I would realize that the Alex Lifeson Les Paul is very similar in concept. It's a Les Paul with a tremolo and a piezo. Essentially, that's what this is trying to be. And the woods are just cherry on top. But that said, the woods make a dramatic difference to this guitar. This sounds like nothing else. For lack of a better word, it has an extremely woody character. What does that mean? It means you can feel the pick attack, and it's extremely dynamic. Often, especially in mahogany rosewood guitars, the pick attack tends to get a little bit muffled. Again, stonewood skeptics, please bear with me, but this is my experience. I have plenty of guitars, similar pickups, different woods. This guitar, you can feel every bit of the pick attack, and it's extremely bright as well on the bridge pickup, especially when split. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, this guitar sounds aggressive like nothing else. This is truly a monster of a guitar, a chimera, and it sounds exactly how it looks. So yeah, I got this in about June 2020, 1 year after ordering it, and it's been a mainstay since. It's tuned to D standard or drop C, and I really enjoy playing this guitar. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Sorry folks, I forgot to mention one very important detail. Do you see how this is shining? This is because this guitar has loom inlaid birds, side dots, etc. So maybe I'll show you a different shot, but at night the birds, this side thing, the side contour, everything lights up, including the eagle as well. So that's another detail I forgot to mention. Okay, we'll move on to the next one for real now. We now get into what is the rarest guitar in my collection in terms of a limited run. I mean, PRS Private Stocks are one of a kind, but there are some limited runs, and there are a few limited runs that are as small as 8 pieces, which is the case with this guitar. This guitar, very much like the Baritone Explorer that I bought earlier, was a leap of faith because I wasn't sure if I didn't play this instrument when I bought it, this kind of instrument, but I had a feeling I would, and it was a really good call. Because as intimidating as a 8-string guitar might be, they are incredible, they are beautiful, they're amazing to play, and this is no ordinary 8-string. This is the Mark Holcomb, or rather, it is the Mark Holcomb 8-string, but specifically it is PRS Private Stock Guitar of the Month, August 2018, when they made 12 guitars, one for each month, and for August month number 8 they made the 8-string based on the Mark Holcomb model, but an 8-string version of it, and these are incredible guitars. Where to begin? It's like a custom 24, but it's 8-string, but it is a hardtail 8-string. It has Seymour Duncan Alpha Omega like Mark Holcomb. This color is called Frostbite Fade. Sorry, Frostbite Glow. Fade is different. So it's like gray, it's like a little bit of dirty snow color in there. I think the fretboard is African blackwood, which is beautiful. Just 24 frets. It has these hip shot style knobs because that's what Holcomb prefers. And the back of this thing is immense. So remember the Graveyard 2 I showed you earlier, that very kind of rotten wood, kind of very gothic kind of look? It started with this guitar. The Graveyard 2 wasn't the first one, so this is the first one that used that effect on Swamp Ash. And then you have this incredible behemoth of a neck, which goes from all the way black, the blackest of snow, to the whitest of snow. So much to say. So 3 or 4 things. Firstly, it is an incredibly easy 8-string guitar to play. Ironically, this is the guitar I learned to play 8-string on. Kind of funny to choose this to learn 8-string on, but once you get the hang of 7-string, and I will make a separate video on this, on the one very easy way to get a hang of 7-string, 8-string is not difficult at all. Basically, the trick is you have to learn how to play a 7-string guitar using the bottom 6 strings, ignoring the 7th string. Once you get the hang of that, then you can just add on the 7th string, and then you can add on 8th string, 9th string. It's just very easy. You just have to get used to the fact that just play these 6 strings, learn them like you would when you were first playing guitar. Get that done, then you can move to 7, move to 8. It's super easy. And it's not only about metal. I mean, I play these guitars mostly clean, through lots of effects. It gives you a lot of tonal palette, a lot of versatility. That's what I like. Now, the thing with this particular guitar is it doesn't get much playtime. Remember the signature artist curse that I was telling you, that the very rare artist guitars that I have, I don't play them too much because they have a value beyond just being an instrument. So I have another 8-string which I will show you in a while, which is also very rare, because while PRS made only 8 of these, it only made maybe 14 or 15 8-strings overall, and they don't make them anymore. So I have another one. And I believe that guitars are meant to be played, so I play that a lot. It stays out all the time. This guitar, it stays in its case. I do play it now and then. It is an incredible guitar, but yeah, again, the signature artist curse. And I'm so cognizant there are only 8 of these, and these are very significant. Today PRS is very current, Holcomb is very current, Periphery is very current, but I just think of a few years down the line. For a lot of folks, myself included, this music, this maker has a lot of value. So this I almost look at like a bit of a museum piece that I can play it a little bit, but I have to preserve it in a good way. And that's what I do with this. Another piece of trivia, this heart case is typically used by the hollow body too. And I guess it's the only case big enough until you get a big square case to fit this. So that's why they have this. This pattern is called Cosmic or Comet or something. Not Cosmic, Comet. Black Comet Tolex is what this pattern is called. Alright, so here we go. This was the 8-string guitar of the month, Mark Holcomb, PRS Private Stock, custom 24 8-string.